All right, today I'm here with Emil from Panama, and thanks so much for joining us. I think it's really cool to have you here because you used to work with Real Social Dynamics, and now you're interviewing me, and I also would like to figure out a little bit about where you are now and what you've been up to, because it's pretty cool, because I think it's been about, I don't know, almost a decade since you were working with us, so a lot's happened since then.
Yes. I remember that back then I was in Atlanta. And it was, yeah, you're right. It was like around 2009, probably when we met, and I started collaborating with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I've been here in Panama for the past almost 4 years, and I was working with UBS, which is like the world's leading private bank. And last year I decided to take on a new adventure, which was starting a branch of a strategy consulting firm that is very famous in Colombia. It's the leading firm of strategy for corporations in Colombia, and we're doing it now from Panama for Central America.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, man. That sounds exciting.
And yeah, just like watching RSD grow and evolve as you always do from here.
Cool. Have you been watching my YouTube videos?
Yes, I have watched a few of the videos. They're really cool. And yeah, I have prepared some questions for you, you know, with regards to RSD, to business, and this type of topic. So, you know, the first question I would like to ask would be, you know, in business strategy, we always talk about focus and segmentation and you know, understanding what your business is, in what business you're playing, and understanding who the client is in these businesses. So I think RSD, you know, has done a very deep segmentation and understanding of their clients, and I wanted to hear from you. Like how do you keep on top of it? How has your client changed throughout the years as the industry changes and as your company changes?
That's a great question. In terms of segmentation, what we used to do is we used to do a lot of it based on analytics using tools like Alexa and also from surveys. But because we're so often in the field with our students every weekend, and also because we so frequently have free events, we get to know our clients every single week by the thousand. You know, if we do, say, in a typical week, we do like with our different instructors. So you have like 10 different maybe tours of instructors going on at the same time. We'll do a few dozen different seminars, and each of those seminars may have several dozen, if not several hundred people in them. So we get to know our clients pretty well from that, and we discuss them. So we have meetings among the instructors and among the marketing team about how the client demographic has changed. Typically, it's always been guys that are usually in their 20s and 30s, and yeah, we'll have people that are older as well, but mostly on an average, if we want to talk about the demographic averages, because that's what we're trying to focus on as our customer avatar. That average will be people of that age range. They're also usually, just not all the time, but usually college-educated people, upper middle class, working class professionals, agnostic, people that are interested in getting their dating life handled because they're usually single guys, and they're usually interested in going out and meeting girls because they have a situation where they're not in a relationship and they want to meet a lot of girls and they want to get that skill set. They're usually also guys that usually have a pretty high intelligence level. They're people that are usually educated or have studied a lot of self-improvement. People usually don't go to a dating advice company like ours without having a really open mind. They want to be coachable. And as a result, we have this very common type and archetype for our customer avatar. But it's changed quite a bit, because 10 years ago, back when we were like when I was a single guy, actually, You know, where our customer type was the same as what I described, but they're acting very differently. They would dress very differently. These were people that were used to using a lot more gimmicks, using flashy clothes, or maybe some kind of a weird outfit. Maybe their personality wasn't as refined. I think because our videos preach a lot more material about self-actualization, identity level change, the kind of clients that we have today are usually people that have gone through a process of self-transformation a lot more than in the past. In the past, a lot of the people were more nerdy. They were less inclined for self-improvement. They're more into memorizing kind of pickup lines and routines and canned scripts and gimmicks, as opposed to actually being able to calibrate to women. And that came across very strong. They weren't the kind of people that we would typically hang out today, but they were the people that we were hanging out with back then, because we were the same kind of people. We were role models. We still are role models, but the role models that we are today is a very different archetype as well. And as a result, it's the kind of client that we build today is kind of representing the kind of person that we are today. So we kind of represent that in who we are as people. And as a result, I think that even now, if we were who we are today and the clients we are today, I think our clients from 10 years ago and even ourselves from 10 years ago would admire our clients and the people we've become today as well.
That's true. And actually that leads me to the second question or topic I wanted to talk to you about. And it's like, you're a relatively young company. You know, you have a couple of decades, maybe less than 2 decades, right? And your industry has changed so much, like much more than industries that are 100 years old. And RSD always manages to come ahead of the curve. So I wanted to know, is it a question of adaptation, or are you shaping the future? Are you shaping the industry, or a mix of both? To me, it's a very, like, RSD is a very interesting business case because of that.
One of the advantages that we have in this industry is that we've been here as pioneers. So we've seen everything from the beginning of the entire industry, because it's not just our company that's very young, it's the whole industry that's very young. Because our company is the same age as the industry. So we've had an advantage because of a few things. One of them is what people typically would say we had that first mover advantage of having so much field experience in this industry. And we were able to build a team from the beginning that is, for the most part, still in place today, but stronger. Now, what we also have that allowed us to dominate the industry, because in the past, this industry was basically a few companies, maybe each of them like 1 to 10 people around the world, and there was like half dozen of them. Maybe some of them were doing significant revenue, but most of them weren't. And I say significant revenue, I mean, revenue that was $1 million a year or more. Now, there is no other company other than ours that is a multi-million-dollar global brand. There is no company that is a significant size. They definitely don't have 100 people on payroll. They definitely don't have, a network of 1,000 volunteers or a couple hundred interns. They don't have YouTube channels with thousands of videos or millions of subscribers combined on social media platforms from Twitter to YouTube, Facebook. All over RSD Nation is there and growing, not just in the social media world, but also in the light of mainstream and the world itself. We've gotten to the point where I would say 1 out of 5 people know who we are, 20% of the world, and I believe that is growing very fast with things like the movies that are going to be coming out, like with James Franco doing it on The Game, and that's being the only recognizable brand that is really killing it from that book. And also from the fact that our YouTube channel is producing so much quality content that the content that we release on a daily basis is better than the free content that we release on a daily basis is better than the paid content of anyone, which is the thing that kills it. And the personalities that we have developed, the personas and the brands are solid because we've developed an epic team to pump out awesome quality video from video production and marketing. And we're growing in such new ways because we've also educated ourselves. We partnered with the influencers, the social media experts, young celebrities of health, fitness, self-improvement, self-actualization, men and women of all kinds, and even penetrating now the music world. And we're doing this because you could take elements of all these different aspects of these other powerful brands and install them in our business. We've created a mastermind, even on my own personal brand over the last, almost two decades of networking in the business world of millionaire and billionaire CEOs, influencers, and best-selling authors that have advised us, that I share through interviews, but these are people that I talk to all day, every day of the week, to the point of exhaustion, because we want to stay number 1, 2, or 3. And if you don't, you die. Because in any industry, you have to kill it if you want to win.
Exactly. And, it's very interesting because your core products, have what used to be, your main source of revenue. Now you like you said, most of it you give it for free, and it's better than the content of all the other companies. So how do you manage to provide such value for free, and then still, precisely because of that, you get you have built a business that's like far beyond just the product, but it's much more so a real community that's connected. And I think that's a very interesting part of the business.
My Chief Marketing Officer, Mikhail, put it this way. Our content quality is so much larger than our marketing. Our marketing is very small. When I say that, what I mean is we do awesome marketing. I mean, we're using our videos on the internet for marketing, but the thing is, we go out and we practice what we preach. Our guys are in the field every week with students, and the stories, field reports of what lessons they learned while they're picking up girls, the epiphanies gained from teaching clients, and from also doing it ourselves as instructors, and from traveling around the world and seeing cultures in 70 different countries and doing it with them, doing it with their clients, and learning about it and practicing it, means that we have so many lessons that it's almost impossible for us to share them on a daily basis. Because every day, if we recorded all day long, we'd have new stories and new lessons to learn. When people think about a topic like dating, for example, they'll think it's finite, but it's quite infinite. When you are making new experiences and new learning lessons, and with the challenges of adapting to the changing times and changing customs and changing cultures of the world and the influences of the world, and also staying up to date on all the new technologies, especially online for online dating, or apps, or all the new cool, pop culture things that could influence dating lives. But the thing is, because we're always in the field, we're always on top of the newest, hottest things. That's why not only do we have the ability to launch free content for hours every day of the week, we also have enough content in addition to that to create 20, 30, 40, 50-hour product launches of video membership sites with 20, 30, 40, 50 hours of awesome content, in addition to having consultations and webinars and live events and membership sites. We're able to do a product launch like that every month because we have so much content. And the ability to pump out that much content is unbelievable. I mean, this is the kind of content that people would spend an entire lifetime putting together. The most famous gurus on the planet that you'll see out there, the most famous guys in the world in self-improvement that you could possibly think of in one membership site that we have, that will be more than the video content that person will release publicly in their entire career. And we do that every month with our guys. And that is why we've been able to become the world's largest dating coaching company, because our content is so much more than any other self-improvement company out there.
I think that's very interesting, Nick. And one of the things that I appreciate the most of RSD is that, I've had a girlfriend for, the last 3 years, but I think that the teachings, and the insights that you learn during game go much more further than just dating. So that I'm not looking for right now dating advice. I'm constantly checking out the content, just to see what new insights there are and what I can learn from people that are, in the field every day. Because whatever we do, whatever we dedicate ourselves to, we also have to be on our field each day, and that constant exposure to your clientele, gives of dating, but it also gives you learning also, like you said. And I think that's a valuable thing for any business to do. And one of the things that you mentioned is that everybody in the company is what you preach. I also think the company itself, RSD itself, also at least what it's preached. It's a very unique, authentic. You do what you believe in. So I think this congruence, to use a term of pickup, this congruence of the company and what it preaches and what it does, what your mission is, also attracts people that are not only interested in dating advice but other things as well. So I would like to hear from you about what other fields you think RSD will explore and your reach.
Those mega niches that we're targeting are going to be those, because I've been talking about this quite a lot, but those mega niches that we're targeting are dating and relationships, health and fitness, business and wealth, and higher purpose and spirituality. Those are the 4 things that we're creating new YouTube channels on. The channel that I have right now is focused on business. Tyler is creating a new channel that is going to be about business. He's also creating a new one about health, and another one on self-actualization, in addition to the dating channel that he has right now. And a lot of our other instructors have already gone down that path. We have self-improvement products like what Joanne just launched about mastery transformation or transformation mastery. And we've also released products in the past, like the Blueprint Decoded, that has been about this stuff. And the thing is, when you release a program about dating, you're releasing a program that can either go 2 routes. One, that you're focusing just on dating, and what happens when you're doing all the things when you're on a date or when you're in a relationship. But then you have what we do, which is basically talk about how you must transform your entire identity to become a better person to get more success in dating. And as a result of that latter part transfers over to pretty much every form of communication. When we created this company, Tyler and I, we called it Real Social Dynamics under the specific game plan that we knew one day would come when we would actually make products that were focused not just on dating, but on social dynamics of all kinds with a real world focus. So when we talk about creating a program that is, say, in business, instead of a lot of people who will just talk about business and maybe they don't have the experience of what they even talk about, they'll just know people that they do. We'll actually be doing business with clients and showing what it looks like when we actually get involved with the client's business. Or we'll maybe go with hidden camera video footage like we do on boot camps or hot seats and show business from that standpoint. Or if we say are doing health and fitness, you might see our guys in the gym with famous fitness gurus doing stuff that is maybe relating to diet or health and fitness or workout routines. If it's in higher purpose, you might see us like we've done at World Summit, where we brought people that are from the spirituality community organizing very intense interactive exercises, engaged with music and other spiritual gurus. What we want to do is we want to take what we believe has allowed our guys to transform and become better people and share it with the world. And that's been Tyler's biggest goals. When we first established the board of directors, Tyler told me that his goal was to have as much influence as possible in changing and transforming for the better as many lives as he possibly could. And the way that he's going to be doing that is by creating us, replicating the business model in these niches. And that's my job. My job is to make sure the infrastructure grows successfully in each of those niches. And it's also the way we're going to become a much bigger brand. Growing from, say, a $10 million company to a $200 million company, becoming an enterprise, as opposed to, a small or medium-sized business. And that's the game plan for the rest of our career.
That's great. So Nick, thank you for all the answers. I have one last final question. It's, I've met a few people from RSD, and each of you, it's unique in their own way. But, you also share a quality that I wanted to ask you if it relates to how it relates to social dynamics and to also explain to the people that are not related to the industry what is social dynamics. But one of the characteristics I found in RSD employees and the time where I collaborated with you is everybody's very awake, very aware that that reality has deeper layers, and I think this comes from field exposure, and and experimenting with ideas, like you said, being open-minded, and all the qualities that you described. But how has what is social dynamics, and how has the understanding of social dynamics changed the way you perceive the world?
In a huge way. I've transformed my entire life from getting involved with RSD. When I first got involved with RSD, I was more of the nerdy, uncalibrated, poorly dressed, unfashionable guy with very little field experience. And it was only through tens of thousands of sets, which, approaching tens of thousands of women, engaging guys or interacting with women, befriending the peer group of beautiful girls, networking with other people, and building this company, was I able to transform into the person I became today, who I consider to be very well networked, somebody who, maybe I don't have as awesome as fashion style as Tyler, who spends an amazing amount of time on continually every single week upgrading his wardrobe in the most epic ways. But I mean, I believe that I've developed a sense to be able to connect with people to the point where I was able to build a global team. I was able to get a beautiful wife. I was able to get an amazing group of friends that I travel around the world with. And none of that would have been possible if it wasn't for studying social dynamics on a very deep level. I think that previously to us being around, people never focused on saying the aspect of field experience and how much immense amount of field experience you need. People look at mastery in such a small way. They look at it as, it's something that you can just magically accomplish by modeling somebody, but they don't see it from the point of the ups and downs. Like business, it has ups and downs. Our venture has had ups and downs to the point where it looks like the business may disappear and then survives. When you're in a relationship, many people will have ups and downs with their spouse. You'll have that with your friends, your business partners. You'll fight, you'll have ups and downs to the point where things are so extreme. And those emotions, those climaxes and resolutions, those are the ways where you could see how far you could push your personality, your persona, your calibration, your interactions with anyone, for any situation, anywhere. And by pushing those limits of what's possible, you'll surprise yourself of how far you can truly accomplish yourself, and how far you could really push your career, push your dating life, push your social life. So I believe that if you could really go all out, what we would used to say was burning the bridges. It was a phrase from the Vikings where they would attack and they would light their boats on fire because there was no way back. You would have to go forward. And you kind of have that mentality. But yet at the same time, you're not going exactly like that because you're calibrated. If things are going wrong, you back out. It's not like you invest in a stock and you let it crash all the way. But you have that mentality overall to see how far you can go, to understand where your boundaries are. You'll always surprise yourself. And that's my hope that you take with you.
Yes, definitely. I am very, very thankful for all that RSD has done. I've definitely learned an amazing quantity of teachings from going in the field, from applying the ideas that RSD has taught for the past years. And definitely, when you push yourself, like you just described, and you learn that things that you thought were not possible are possible in the field, for example, then when you go to business, you apply the same idea. If you go to health or to the gym, you apply the same idea. And what, in the end, I think is one of the most valuable things you can get out of social dynamics is, to learn exactly how to do this and how to really learn, what learning means is realizing that the world is different than what it was.
Awesome.
So I don't know. I think it's that's all the questions I had in mind. I appreciate you answering them, and it's always great hearing from you.
Yeah, thanks so much. I hope that a lot of the things that you learned from working with us is helping you with your career today.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Definitely. Cheers.